Hello YouTube, I'm Elwirfy, and today we're going to be talking about something that is kind of out of nowhere, but it's just something that I noticed in particular with YouTube itself that doesn't seem to be talked about for other platforms. It's the fact that their mobile version of viewing videos is actually different than viewing it on the website. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, obviously, with any changes from device to device, it makes sense that things might be changed in order to make it easier for devices to handle certain elements of a website. However, something that wasn't immediately obvious to me was the fact that on mobile, the way that you sort videos can no longer be done from oldest to newest. I don't know why this is, and considering that a lot of statistics that I've seen that show people who use YouTube typically are watching on their phone more so than on the computer, it only makes me believe that maybe this is why creators tend to have this idea that it's more okay to delete videos from a long time ago. I mean, there's nothing like inherently wrong with it. I just think that there is something to be said about wanting to keep all of your work in one location, and I regret even deleting videos sometimes, and I certainly try my best to leave all of my work up, even if it's not good, because, I think it's important to show off the journey that you've come from and the journey that you're on in your path to trying to make absolutely quality content for the viewer to enjoy. Especially, like, if I say went back and deleted, like, the last, or the first 3 years of my time on YouTube, it would seem as though I haven't improved as much. Especially considering that even though I do have a lisp, I think that for the most part you guys have been able to understand me. But again, that wouldn't be very easily communicated if, you guys weren't able to see where exactly I was coming from. And I think there's also something comforting about being able to look at any YouTuber's videos and realize that they all come from a place of absolute garbage. Even the most famous YouTubers, their first content is not good. And that's okay, and that's great. That's a wonderful part of making YouTube videos. Like, if you're worried about making YouTube videos that aren't good, I would say just don't even bother making YouTube videos then, because everyone goes through a period where their videos just aren't very good. And it's not because, I'm not saying this to be like, oh, your stuff is garbage, Everyone's stuff starts out like that. There's nothing we can do about it, because at the end of the day, if the content isn't good, the content isn't good, but that's how we improve. That's how we make the content better. And we make it better not only just for ourselves, but for the, more importantly, for the viewers who are watching. Shoot, when I go to record something, or like I think of like, ooh, what topic to do, I sit around for like a good while just thinking of what topic to talk about. The reason why is because I'm trying to think of something, one, that'll be interesting for you guys to listen to, two, something that'll actually take up the length of my stock footage, because that's also very important, and it's very hard to manage your time sometimes when you're making a YouTube video, because sometimes videos can go off into weird tangents, kind of like this one right now, where you end up talking about something unrelated, like how long the video length is in terms of what your subject matter is compared to the footage you've actually accumulated in order to produce footage that would get you an end result that you're looking for. Like, say, for example, you wanted to make a topic about, I don't know, harvesting the organs of bees or something, and you have to explain, you got to get the microscope, and you got to get the little tweezers and stuff, and try and rip out each individual organ, like something like that, where it's absolutely ridiculous, and no one would honestly want to watch it. But every once in a while, like I always say, there's a niche for everyone, and someone might. I don't think there's such a thing really as making a bad idea or a bad video, not because I think it's like this is coming from a place of laziness where it's like, oh yeah, just do whatever you want, it'll be fine. It's more so coming from a place of like, I think that there's always an audience for everyone, and I always try and say this in my videos. There's an audience for everyone, and I think that if you're able to put yourself out there, it's going to be fine. So, because YouTube is disabling the ability to sort on mobile based on oldest to newest, it makes me wonder if maybe YouTube isn't trying to let most users see where YouTubers come from, or at least not easily. You can still, of course, scroll down and go find the oldest stuff, but it's a lot harder to do that. Like, if you see a YouTuber and, you really like them, and you're like, man, I wonder if they're just like me, and you want to see, what their first content is like. And, I don't even know why I do it sometimes. Shoot, I still even go back to the first content of some YouTubers, even if it is super dated and not related to the current times. It's just interesting, to see where people come from and to get inspiration to keep moving forward. I think that a lot of people worry that maybe the content that they make isn't actually going to be something that even they would want to watch. And that's probably true. Most content you first make often isn't something you want to watch. But what's nice is the fact that even if it's not something you would want to watch right now, it might be something someone wants to watch later on. Because here's the thing, you never know when one of your pieces of content is going to explode or become this grand thing that everybody enjoys. So I would say just try not to give up hope on that. I feel like if you work really hard to make content that you enjoy, that even your oldest work will be seen as good. Like my oldest work on this channel right now, it's got like 14,000 views last time I checked, and that's incredible. That's crazy. That's more views than I get ever. I don't get views like that anymore. It takes a lot of time. And when you get like negative comments being like, "Oh, this is horrible," I'm thinking, yeah, but it's older. Like that's okay if people don't like it, because who knows what time or year they're actually watching your content. Don't worry about criticism of like your stuff if people are like, "Oh, this is so bad. How could you do this?" Because, everyone has a growing period. Everyone has to learn how to get better. Shoot, I still haven't found a solution to fix the annoying whirring fan in the background of my videos, and it's really frustrating. But, what can you do about it? You got to just, for me, I just shut up and just go with it for the most part. I say, yeah, it's going to be a little weird sounding sometimes, but heck, that's better than not, better than not even making a video, right? I'd much rather make you a video with content that has something to do with what you enjoy, So, I guess my final point of the video is, should we actually try and get YouTube to change this? Well, no, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's a big enough issue that we need to be trying to tell YouTube, hey, bring back the sort from oldest to newest button on mobile. And shoot, by the time you're watching this, they might have already changed it and fixed it as well. But I don't think it's a big enough issue where we need to be worrying about that, mainly because I think that the amount of times people do want to go back and look at old nostalgic stuff isn't as common anymore as it probably used to be back when people were more connected with YouTubers. Especially with the rise of TikTok, I do feel like there's a bit more of a disconnect between YouTubers and viewers, just because now viewers have multiple sources to get access to honestly so many creators at this point that having loyalty to a single one is less and less common. And I think that's something, that's something that I think people don't really talk about as much too. I'm going to save that for another topic. But suffice it to say, I do think that there is a place for being able to easily access older videos. And hey, not just for nostalgic reasons. Again, like I said earlier, like for learning, right? Say I want to learn, hey, how did this one YouTuber grow to stardom, right? You go back, you watch PewDiePie's old videos. He was just having fun, just doing his stuff. He had a fun voice, because he's Swedish and stuff, and his stuff got broadcast to America mostly, because that's how the algorithm was set up at the time, and he had a huge advantage. That's just how it goes. Some people get lucky, and, I know people like to say, oh, there's no such thing as luck, you just make good content. Well, I would actually argue that there is an element of luck. There's an element of luck in the fact that if you work really hard and you're doing your best, at the end of the day, if you make great content, but you can't make a good thumbnail, you can't make a good title, and YouTube doesn't know how to sort your video, that's it. Shoot, what chance do you have? Nothing, to be honest. You won't have a chance to be found. You can make the best video of your life, and no one will watch it. If nobody wants to click, if nobody's having fun, if nobody's enjoying it, and if nobody's enticed to do so, which sucks. But what can you do, right? You got to be able to kind of judge the way that your audience is viewing your stuff and find ways to make sure you appeal to that, while also branching out into new ideas to make sure that you still make content that you want to make, even if it's not your most popular content. So I would say just stick to your guns, have a good time, and ultimately I think that your experience on YouTube will be a lot better than most. Anyway, guys, as always, I'm Elwirfy. and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Take care, everyone.